I'm Chad.
I'm Dad. No, wait a minute, I'm supposed to be Dad first.
Oh yeah, you're Dad.
I'm Dad.
I'm Chad. And this is our channel. I'm wiring up one of the control sticks for the trim tab servo and the push to talk for the radios. So when you talk to tower or when you talk anytime outside of the aircraft, besides talking to your passenger, you press this button right here on the stick and you can talk. And then you release and you can still talk, it just doesn't leave the aircraft. So, and then this is for the trim tab. I'm gonna have 2 extra switches. Haven't got the avionics, finalized the avionics yet, so I'm hoping a couple of those switches can be for like the G3X screen. I can toggle through it just with one of those switches, but I haven't got to play with that yet, but I'm sure there's a feature to where I can toggle through that screen with one of these extra buttons. I get 2 extra buttons. Maybe I'll put missiles on one of them. I don't know. Guns on the other. I'm just kidding. Yeah, it'll be something with Garmin G3X. So I'm going to go ahead and wire those and have the wires coming out. And then whenever I know what I'm going to use them for, then I'll tag them with what they're being used for. So anyway, I'll let you guys watch me do a little bit of soldering. I love doing this stuff. I've been doing it since I was a kid. A buddy of mine's parents owned an electronics store when we were kids. We've been buddies from like 2nd grade on, still great buddies. When we'd get out of school, we'd go over there and just play. And they had electronic, down capacitors and relays. And it's just so neat, the stuff that I learned just by playing around after school and having fun. So with that knowledge, I've always been able to wire my own things and I'm pretty good at understanding how things work electrically. I'm not like a genius or anything, but I've wired cars I've built in the past. And so, that's the thing. I kind of want to wire the airplane myself, but I'm just scared it's going to take a long time that I could be using to work. And I'm just wondering if I can make more money working versus doing the wiring. And then the wiring's done exactly right. I know, they're going to stand behind it. Or do I do it myself, get the satisfaction of, hey, I did it myself, built the whole airplane myself except the engine. So that's still something that we're thinking about. But I'll let you guys watch as I do a little bit of soldering, probably speed it up because it's boring. I've had this Weller soldering iron forever, but Weller, I think, in my opinion, is the best. You can actually turn up the heat for the wire size you're working on. So if you're working on a smaller size wire, you can turn it down. Heavier size wire, you can turn it up. I've soldered wires, probably 1 gauge, 2 gauge wire. This thing is just awesome. But we're working with like 24 gauge wires, so I've got it turned down pretty low. I don't want to burn any of these terminals in here, this plastic. These control sticks are expensive. Anyway, just following the instructions. So I'll show you guys a little bit. So I'll do a solder joint and then we'll turn it off because it's rather boring. I'm looking here at the way it goes. This wire goes here, and before I make a solder, if there's 2 wires going to one terminal, I want to make sure and get both of those wires in there before I make my solder. You can fix it if you mess it up. Like if you solder one and you have to get another one in there, you can fix it. It's not a big deal, but I just rather go ahead and make the preparations now, and that way I don't have to do it over. We've done so many things over on this airplane, and if we just take our time and read the directions and study and understand what we were doing, it'd be so much easier. We wouldn't have to do it twice. Like this little guy right here says use a 1.5 inch pre-cut wire, and earlier I didn't read that, and I used a 2 1/8 inch wire, and I had to take it off because it was too long. And they give you some little pre-cut wires. Some are longer than the others, and if you read the daggum directions, it tells you when and where to use them. So right here it's telling me to use a shorter one, but I want to skip ahead to the next step and just make sure there's no wires that are going to need to be soldered into here before I make my solder. And it doesn't look like there is. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little guy in there. And these come pre-tinned, which is kind of cool. Tinning is when there's already solder on the end of the wire. If not, I don't know if you need to, but it makes it easier for me. This is the way I learned to do it. But you actually pre-tin your wire. That way, whenever you make your solder, it grabs to it easier instead of you pushing on it and trying to get the solder to melt to the wire. It's already on the wire, so the solder on the wire melts to the wire that's wherever you want your joint. So you pre-tin this, pre-tin the wire, then when you press them together and heat them up, boom, it's quick. and you're not sitting here going, "Dadgummit, why isn't this thing working?" You know, making a mess, heating the metal up excessively, and maybe burning some plastic. But anyway, this guy already fell off. So let me put him on back on here. So we're running two sticks, two push to talk and trim tab sticks in the aircraft. So I picked a wiring diagram to make sure that works correctly, and that way you can use either one of these sticks at any time, and they set themselves up to a relay. So the relay does the work, the stick just turns the relay on or off. Okay, so there it is, quick and easy. So excited, guys. I got in a mandrel for my nut zert rib nut installer. Let you guys take a look at that. I've been having to do this the hard way. Man, a lot of these rib nuts are 10-30 seconds. And I didn't have the right mandrel for that. Let's see how this. So, now that I have the right mandrel, I can put it on. Do it the easy way. The easy way. Bastard, you want open. Don't like you. Oh, that's why. User error. Don't know what I'm doing. Don't know what I'm doing. See how easy that is when you know how to work something? Spit on you. There we go. I used the right tool. Do I have it? Yeah. Oh, crap. When in doubt, get out the pliers. Like I've never worked this before. Oh, there it is. That is the mandrel for the 10/24. I need a 10/22. 10/32. So the threads, is 32 threads per inch versus 24 threads per inch. So even though it almost fit, it didn't because the threads were wrong. Okay. So now I'll take you guys over here and show you what this little cool tool does. Back of these seats, there's what's called a rivet. So you take this guy, screw it down all the way. I think I did that wrong. Done. Something that takes forever. Doing it the other way. with a nut and a bolt and a washer. It's not very long. Okay. How's it? I'll put the headrests on. Sweet. What are we doing, Dad?
Working on my tan.
Working on your tan. Oh, seriously, what are we doing here?
Well, this is part of the elevator system we're trying to put in.
So much easier outside the airplane. They're trying to put it together inside. It doesn't like it. So there's that. Now we can put it inside.
I'm gonna figure out how far I want this to be from there. But I guess what I put
What is this? What is this bolt?
It's some more.
Oh,
I forget where that. Welded tabs are on station 3.
does it say where this is supposed to?
Well, we have to put it in here. You'll see how far station 3 is. So this may have to be all the way back.
How do we
here.
know it doesn't go here?
Because this goes here. All load that I had goes in here. It goes through here into the welded tabs.
Oh, okay. And then this.
It goes like this.
And then here's.
Yeah.
What are these little holes for?
What holes are there? Well, there looks like there's some kind of car keys that go through. Number 2, small car keys. The car keys go in between here.
Oh, I kissed my butt. Look at this one. It didn't drill that. I can transfer drill it with one of these other ones. Isn't that fine? CNC machine. Here you go. You ready to fly yet?
Yeah.
So what he's doing is he's putting those cotter keys through because the cables that go to the rudder run those pulleys, and those cotter keys keep it from falling out. So we got the tube from the controls. We've got this tube mounted. It runs down here, attaches here, and it runs here, and then another tube will attach to it and go all the way to the elevator. So, it's pretty cool. And I got the wires ran for the trim servo. Got the buttons attached, everything soldered, everything, all the wires ran down through the tube. Got them all labeled. Push to talk and trim servo up and down, then an extra 2 buttons for something, whatever we want them to be for. So once we get the one in for this side, I'll pull it through with this wire, pull the wires through with this wire, tape it on, pull them through, and then attach it to the relay. Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Dad and Chad.
If you like this video, share it with your friends, and give us a thumbs up,
And never miss an episode of Dad and Chad by hitting that subscribe button.
because we'll be back next Tuesday with another episode.
Thanks again for watching
Dad?
and Chad.